Kia ora tātou katoa, ata mārie e. I only have 20 minutes to kōrero, so I've cut my haka and my puppet show. But if you're keen to see a puppet show, look no further than the incoming national government. Trigger warning, I'll be touching on themes of violence and genocide, and the genocide in Palestine, as well as suicide and mamai in our communities. And I wanted to acknowledge that red's hard to see, that's not good. Can we turn the lights down? Kapai. I wanted to acknowledge the phase of the moon that we're in, Arirua, which is a time to reflect and to be cautious and to look for new ways to keep learning. Kapai. So the first account that we're going to look up on Instagram is called Queers in Palestine. It is as we talk about some of these social media accounts, I wanted to kōrero about why as queer people, Takatāpui, allies and humans, we must call for a ceasefire in Palestine. Now, Queers in Palestine provides amazing resources to stay updated about the perspectives, experiences, and initiatives supporting queer people in Palestine. If you go to the link tree, there's a very powerful letter you or your organization can sign to tautoko Queer Palestinians. The name of this letter is called A Liberatory Demand for Queers in Palestine. Chuck them a follow. The next account is Queens for Palestine. It's one I found recently, and it's sharing resources, initiatives, and updates about the genocide in Palestine being caused by the Israeli government. For many of us, pride, whakahi, it's joy, it's love, it's art, but it's also steeped in protest. And through understanding what Tabby affirmed for us this morning, that we aren't free until we are all free. So we must call on our government to call for a ceasefire against the horrific war crimes being committed by Israel, sponsored by states like the United States of America. The next resource is the Queer Muslim Network. It's an amazing Toronto-based organization, again, sharing amazing resources. The next resource is the Queer Muslim Project, and now it's a kaupapa that was sent to me last night, again, sharing resources and experiences from queer Muslim communities all over the world. Flagging here that the last two resources weren't set up exclusively to talk about the genocide in Palestine, but to provide a platform for those types of conversations. And for many of us in the audience who don't sit within those communities, these are spaces we are privileged to learn more about. So I urge you to engage. The next account is queers.for.palestine, and it's an account and movement we're starting to see more and more often. Queer collectives, Takatāpui collectives, mobilizing their communities in order to turn up for Palestine, whether it's organizing protests or turning up to protests safely, or creating resources about how to stay safe at protests. By the way, this is not the only Queers for Palestine initiative or collective that I've seen online. This next one is called Queering the Map, which if you're on Twitter, not Twitter, that's the dead name, X, if you're on X, you would have seen Queering the Map. It's a Google Map-ish tool that allows you to see stories from all over the world. In Aotearoa, there are some funny stories about people losing their virginity down in Mission Bay, all the way to their coming out stories, or how they've been left broken by their whānau. And what I really wanted to touch upon is all those little dots, all those little pins are stories in Palestine. And it's really grounding to see the experiences of those people. It's more than resharing stuff or turning up to protest, but as queer and Takatāpui leaders, we have a responsibility to continue to hold that flame, but be very gentle with yourself if you choose to engage. There's more mahi to do than just following social media accounts, and I acknowledge the mamai that exists for those of us that work in community with our rangatahi. This mahi isn't going to be comfortable, and we need to stop waiting for an invitation in order to start advocating. There's not going to be an email that finds you well. So stand up and let's get to fucking work. Let's connect with our breath, se te whānau, connecting with our tinana, relaxing our shoulders. One deep breath in, ha ki roto, ha ki waho. One more time. One deep breath in, ha ki roto, ha ki waho. My marae doesn't have carvings, but for me and many rangatahi, those missing carvings live in the fights our rangatira Takatāpui have made. Those missing carvings live in the wero we are yet to pick up. And those missing carvings live in the love we are yet to explore. By fighting for better, you are helping to rebuild our whare. Tui a I runga, tui a I raro, karongo te pō, karongo te ao. Ko te tangi o te manu nei, kui ia. Ko te ingoa o tēnei manu ko tu kaia ia. Te manu e horapa ane te maunga kakatara hei o manaia, ko tēnei ahau tūri whakatipo te maunga nei. ara o Patuharikeke, Ngāti Wai, Ngāti Porou, Ngāpui Nui Tonu, me Ngāti Whatuo ki Kaipara. Kia ora rā koutou katoa, my name's Quack and this is a photo of me and my beautiful, beautiful partner, Jax. I'm very proud to be Māori, to be Takatāpui, and to be the cheekiest, best-looking young Māori on the stage. And to prove it, I made a little love heart, so you all know that's my partner. And there's a photo there for two reasons. I'm privileged to be in a happy, healthy, and warm Takatāpui relationship. And the second reason that I want to share is how I have the most beautiful, cheeky, funny, gentle relationship in the world. I want to next just touch on some of the mahi that I do in our hapori. Not to flex, this isn't a LinkedIn trauma dump, but just to paint a picture on where my whakaaro has come from. I lead my own suicide prevention organisation called Manaani Waniwa, sit on different board spaces like Auckland Pride and Rainbow Youth. I've involved in expert advisory groups, I've done panels, and I was a Greenpeace Aotearoa Pacific delegate to the International Seabed Authority Council in Jamaica, and that's me jumping in front of a ship because fuck the colonisers. And my day job is to work in a community hub out of Takaanini. I'm going to share some reckons. You might like them, you might hate them. I don't invite you to share your thoughts with me afterwards. And I want to express now, for me, Takatāpui represents the fluidity for Māori within sexuality and gender. And for me, my gender expression is Takatāpui, my sexuality is also Takatāpui. My first reckon, advisory groups are not sustainable long-term solutions to the systematic exclusion of Takatāpui people. The key word here is long-term. There's a place to have advisory groups if your kaupapa or your mahi that you're working on needs it, but I don't believe that they're long-term solutions. I believe they have a purpose, but perhaps not in the form of undervalued and underpaid rōpū of experts that are doing the mahi of a full-time Takatāpui advisor. The key points I wanted to point out is that you must always provide good kai, no cup of teas and biscuits. You must always provide putia, transport, accommodation, ongoing support. If you're going to invite our whānau into a room to talk about sexual violence, then you must have the environment in which they're able to receive support before, during, and after. You must provide consistent updates about where their whakaaro is going. Don't just do the one email every 6 months when it comes to matariki and you need someone to open with a ball-whiri. You must ensure the highest safety of those involved and commit fully to the sovereignty of the rōpū. If the rōpū tells you they need a noho, then guess what? You got to go find money for a motherfucking noho. My second reckon, thank you Microsoft for fucking up my presentation, is that we need an intergenerational approach for whānau Māori when it comes to informing communities of the identities, experiences and challenges faced by our hapori. The liberation of Māori communities is an and, not a this or that. We must involve whānau at the top of the hill when it comes to wānanga Takatāpui. What I mean at the top of the hill is there are many amazing service providers that provide awhi for rangatahi that have come out, that provide awhi for rangatahi that have been in the closet or their whānau to help navigate that journey with them. But there's a whole other sector of people that we're missing out. You don't need to have a Takatāpui in your whānau to understand and whakamana tangata Takatāpui. Oh, I said something. See, I made this at 1 a.m. this morning and I was in a very cheeky mood, but now there's maybe too many F-bombs in my script. But the part I wanted to ask is, how do we make kaupapa Takatāpui as exciting to attend as Te Matatini, as an 1814 concert? How do we prioritise the liberation of our hapori in our personal, professional and social lives? My next reckon, if rangatahi Takatāpui don't have a strong connection to whānau hapu o iwi, a short-term solution is to connect them to Kāhui Uenuku and Ranginui. Being Takatāpui and existing and within te ao Māori can sometimes be contradictory, but being able to be a kaitiaki of the whenua we are born to protect is very, very important. When planning any kaupapa, consider the role that Māori have to protect the whenua and their people, and I encourage you to consider the role that Takatāpui, who are yearning for a connection but unable to sometimes make that safely, could play in the climate crisis. Am I suggesting a climate revolution led by a hapori Takatāpui? Abso-fucking-lutely. My reckon to a whā. The validity of Takatāpui people is not a tikanga or kawa that varies among hapu, iwi and whānau. That's in the validity of our Takatāpui people. It's not just a tikanga or kawa that varies among hapu, iwi and whānau. None of this, our whānau don't recognise XYZ, don't come at me. Because we all know it's not a matter of my whānau don't. It's a matter of my whānau no longer. My next reckon is whilst you wait to find the best way to be an ally, we will continue to be excluded, demonised, and succumb to violence in our society. Using time and space to deeply consider how you whakamana our communities is not a one-off-ication. Therefore, you do not need to wait any longer to start being an ally for rangatahi Takatāpui. E tū, grab a tītau, there's mahi to do. I wanted to quickly touch on kaupapa that I'm leading called Mana Āniwaniwa. It's a Takatāpui liberation organisation, and I'm sure I've shared many different definitions to the many different people who have asked me about it. But the focus for 2023 and 2024 is suicide prevention wānanga. And the goal is to target all whānau in order to affirm placement within te ao Māori for rangatahi Takatāpui. We want to inform about the ever-changing challenges our community experience and foster strong cultural well-being to mitigate suicide in our communities. If you've got money, if you've got time, if you've got ideas, my email's on the screen, please flick me a message. I didn't know where I wanted all my mic drop moments to be, so I just pulled them all together for the end of my thing. I have some acceptable responses that have gone through a comprehensive approval process through an advisory group. That's a joke. Please fucking stop with the advisory groups at their whānau. And so when I read out these statements, we're going to act like it's the best thing you've ever heard, and we're going to practice some of these responses. Okay, te pai? So when I say fu, you're going to say it with me, and you're going to give it mana. Whakamana mai, whatever these are. Ka pai. Fu. Fu. Oh, that one was terrible. Let's maybe cut that one. Check. Check. Hei te pai. Be our tūpuna your moko are proud of. Don't wait until we are hung photo friends in our marae until we whakamana rangatahi Takatāpui. Don't wait for us to die. You can do it now. Chair. These are maybe a bit too heavy for the sayings that we just practiced, but kei te pai tērā. Takatāpui exists as many different ways as there are Takatāpui people. Chair, doits. So we went out the box of the doits, but kei te like. They lied about Māori ceding sovereignty, and they still managed to fuck up the health and well-being of our people. What I wanted to end on is the kōrero that I said when I started. My marae doesn't have carvings, but for me and many rangatahi, those missing carvings live in the whaitau rangatahi our rangatira Takatāpui have made. Those missing carvings live in the wero we are yet to pick up. Those missing carvings live in the love we are yet to explore. By fighting for better, you are helping to rebuild our whare. Nō reira, tū nā koutou, tū nā koutou, tū nā koutou katoa.